1, 2, 1, 2, donkey monkeys. What?
I'm proud of you. You got a donkey monkey in
I got
there.
a donkey monkey.
Sing this one.
Because we have one at home.
You have a donkey monkey?
Dreams and
memories. Sing it. When the kids go to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, his name's Zeke. He's a donkey monkey.
Merchandise we got.
All the
I'm
swag.
like Scrooge McDuck.
We got lots of
merchandise.
swag. You almost bent the pictures.
I like
Don't
to
bend the
swim
pictures.
in my merchandise.
Stop bending the pictures.
Oh, I messed it all up.
And they had them all organized, and then you came
We just had a
in and
special
screwed it
delivery.
up.
Zoe from Rodeo Arcade just delivered a bunch of shirts for us. If you guys didn't know, the new 4-year anniversary Shaytard shirts are out.
Hello.
Only available this month. After June, they will be gone forever.
So wait, so are you saying like this one will be gone forever?
Yeah. Yep. And like, for instance, this one will be gone forever. They only do them for 1 month. It's a limited run on 4-year anniversary Shaytard shirts. The 2 previous ones are sold out. And if you want them, you got to get one now. So there's only like a couple weeks left because once March is over, you can't get them. So these are all the shirts that we have.
Do it.
Look at the whole family. Isn't
now.
that cute? Isn't that cute? That's so adorable. That's so adorable. Get out of here. We need to do a podcast. Oh, check out Baby
You're
Tarts.
going to need to clean that up.
Babe, I need to clean up all my messes. You
And
know that.
Suntards is the only one that we don't have
You
in
don't
here.
have a Suntards one? Check out Baby
I don't
Tarts.
know why he's not
I
in
think it
here.
might be one of the cutest. Can I say that? Is that
It's adorable.
what is
It
that
is.
called?
Wait, is that on the
Single?
back too?
I think it is. I think it's double
Oh, how
printed.
cute.
Look at that. I think Baby Tarts is so precious.
And this is
so
a Rodeo
precious.
Arcade shirt. The heart.
Oh,
Quit
check out
throwing
mine.
the shirts
mine in here?
around. Oh,
Look at my muscles.
swear I live with a child.
You live with 4 of them.
I live with
Oh, where's mine?
5 of
I don't
them.
have mine here.
Don't throw the Shea. Don't.
That's a mess back there. You should
He
see
just
it.
threw the original drawings.
Oh, yeah, that's what these are. You guys, Brian, our buddy at Rodeo
You're so
Arcade. Look, these are the
irresponsible.
original drawings
I am sorry, Brian. I'm trying to control him.
from
it's not working.
the actual. Look at that. Isn't that cool?
So
That's like history in
disrespectful.
the making right there. Original drawings. Can you see? The little zoom in there. Anyways, all right, check them out. RodeoArcade.com/Shaytards, or just go to Rodeo Arcade. You'll see them on there. Original drawings from the shirts. These are really cool. He's very talented. He did my logo, the S logo. Very impressed with Brian and his abilities. Okay, so welcome to the show.
WTKGTS. I did it right.
He's super surprised.
Because I always mess it up. It's such a long acronym, you know? And today we are discussing, to start off with, leprechauns. Do they exist?
Baby Tard, for an assignment for school.
Today is due a leprechaun trap.
Did she do it? Or
Well, it's due today.
Oh, right. Yeah, so
But she hasn't done it yet.
We should go buy a bunch of like mouse traps.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, how is she gonna make a leprechaun trap? What's she gonna do?
Well, that's dangerous. That's, you know,
Well, when you're catching a leprechaun,
for 5-year-olds.
you gotta be serious about
They
this.
have to use their own, like, how could I catch a leprechaun? It's like, it's teaching them to be
Is that kind of
ingenuitive.
racist a little bit?
Catching leprechauns?
Yeah, like what are we gonna do? Like, what are you
'Cause
gonna
you
do with
can't-
once you catch them?
Because you can't, that's the thing, is you can't catch a leprechaun. That's why it's
So
fun
this
to
is like
make a
the
leprechaun
teacher
trap.
is setting her up for failure.
Maybe.
Think about it. I think there's something that needs to be done.
So,
I
you
don't
think
care.
that every kid should just catch a leprechaun?
So we're talking about today like superstitions and that kind of stuff with St. Patrick's Day coming up. I've always wanted to go to Ireland.
Did you ever believe in leprechauns?
No, I never believe in any of that crap.
You didn't, did you believe that, do you believe in Santa Claus?
Nope.
Do you believe in the Easter Bunny?
No.
Have you ever seen Rise of the Guardians?
Yep. Bull crap, all of it. You know, I believe in stuff.
I
don't-
think
I don't know.
it's the fun of, it's the magical. It's fun to believe.
You just don't know what's out there.
You don't. And there could be a leprechaun on, when is St. Patrick's Day? On Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, that's exciting.
So
Red green.
here's the fight that we always get into because it's like, I almost told the kids the other night, and Colette gave me the death stare.
Of what? Shh. Don't touch me.
Here we go again. Listen.
So anyways.
If you believe in Santa Claus, tune out.
I don't want you to talk anymore. So I used to hate St. Patrick's Day.
Because you got pinched?
Because it was so rude.
It's a violent, racist holiday.
It's violent.
It's a drunken, violent, racist holiday.
And I remember we even had a teacher that would pinch.
What?
She thought it was so funny to pinch the kids.
What a
And she would
bitch.
pinch, even if we were wearing green.
That sounds like an abusive teacher. What else happened with this teacher?
I don't remember.
Maybe we should make a phone call or something.
I remember also, I hated Fridays because I was one of those girls like
Who
baby
hates
tard.
Fridays?
Listen,
flip
why? I'll
up
tell
Fridays.
you. See, you already know.
Yeah.
It's like a national thing, I think. Or at least an Idaho thing.
Why would you wear? Why didn't you just wear pants on those days?
Because I'm like a baby tard. You have to wear dresses. It's like your secret power. She wears dresses every day.
She does. Like these big, like elegant, like go into like the prom dresses.
Like all of her church Sunday dresses.
Colette lets the girls dress themselves, which
I do.
I mean, she supervises and like there's every once in a while she's like, no, you're not wearing that. But like the
Right.
girls, like they pick out what they
Or
want.
if it's picture day, I usually
And
put my
sometimes
foot
they
down.
come in the mornings because like our routine is, bless her heart, Colette gets kids ready for school, and then right before they leave to go to school, all the kids come into our room and then we say a prayer and then they leave. And some mornings I'm like looking at the girls' outfits, I'm like, what are you wearing? Like they have like 18 layers and like
too.
scarves, and
It's
it's like
adorable. I feel like they're just like developing their inner fashion.
baby tards wore like
sense.
3 dresses to school at one point. Like this
Like
one.
she layers them.
Like she layers them so you can like see like one's shorter than the other, so it's like this 3-tiered dress system.
so cute.
Like, what are you doing?
It used to see. That's the thing is, I lost the battle a long time ago when Princess Tard was little. I used to try to like pick everything out, and we would fight so much. I'm like, why am I fighting with my 3-year-old? This is ridiculous. Fine, wear what you want. And from then on, I was just like, you know what? They can wear whatever they want, unless it's picture day or like a family event that I want them to all look really, really cute. Then I
Yeah.
make them wear whatever I
I think
want them
that's
to
good.
wear.
I think you have avoided a lot of struggle with little children that is unnecessary.
But the funny thing is, I'll go back and watch, on our vlogs when we had the 1, 2, and 3, 4 years
Check 'em
ago.
out.
You should check them out. When I go back and watch, I'm like, they are going to hate me later.
You think like, why did you let me wear that? No, I think
Yeah.
they'll enjoy that you were like gave them their freedom. You gave them freedom of
think it's
choice.
so cute.
Because our free agency is one of the most glorious things we have as people. We can choose whatever we want.
It's
Okay.
true.
So can I start talking about the singularity now?
Yes, the singularity. Tell us.
Okay, so
I did not watch the documentary, so this will be new to me too, guys.
Okay, so we're talking about like superstitions and like things to come, and that kind of gets into God and all those things. And you guys know where we stand on that. We're members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So we believe in a heavenly Father who is God, his Son, Jesus Christ. We believe literally that they are separate people, that they are we were created in their image so that they are men with arms and feet and fingers, and they're physical, like you can touch them. Like if I met Jesus Christ or God today, I could shake his hand. And we believe that we lived with them before we came to this earth, and that we are here on this earth to receive a mortal body and experience and to overcome the mortal and earthly cravings and urges. And we're supposed to overcome those, and then we will return to live with him in his presence. So now that we're here on earth, this is like we believe that there's what is called a veil placed over our minds so that we can't remember our premortal existence. We don't remember where we came from. So as you've heard before, this is like a test. And in tests, the teacher doesn't tell you the answers. So when you're taking the test, the teacher is silent, just like God is silent, and we don't know what he wants exactly other than...
Not completely silent.
Other than we believe in
We still
scriptures
live by
and
faith.
prophets and faith. So there's other things that have happened while you're here on earth, like Santa Claus and like the Easter Bunny and like all these other like superstitions. Like, if you break a mirror, you'll have 7 years of bad luck, which I never believed in that, because it's like, I'm not, just because I dropped a mirror, I'm not going to let that determine my fate for the next 7 years.
I think that some people do, though, and I think it's mental. I
Do you
feel
believe
like
that?
if they are superstitious, then that really will happen, because they're
It's
like
a self-fulfilling
projecting.
prophecy.
It's like
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, I just dropped a mirror. Crap. The next 7 years are going to suck.
And then
every
they'll
day you
look
wake
at-
up, you're like, I broke the mirror yesterday. My life's going to suck for 7 years.
Or if something ever bad happens to them, which it does to all of us, they'll look back and be like, "Oh, it was because I broke the mirror 3 years ago. I'm still having bad luck."
I heard an analogy where, people say that like on full moons that there's a higher rate of in people that come to the emergency room, and that I can't remember that analogy. Never mind.
I do think that there's something in the stars, though.
What do you mean?
The way that the stars are aligned, I feel like we're somehow connected with the universe. Like that.
Oh yeah, totally. I believe that.
Yeah.
There's even studies that show like the way that the society works, and like if you like pan up and you like look down in society, like the way our traffic patterns work, it's the same as like blood cells. Like,
really?
Like blood cells flow in, like if you panned up from like traffic in New York and you showed blood cells flowing through your body, they move in a very similar manner, which is really interesting. Okay, so here's what I want to talk about. I watched a documentary just the other night, 2 nights ago, called Transcendent Man, and it's based off the theory of a futurist / inventor by the name of Ray Kurzweil, who invented the keyboard, like the electronic keyboard. He worked with Stevie Wonder to invent a keyboard that sounded just like a grand piano. This guy is a genius. At 17 years old, he created a computer that helped him write a song that he played on the piano. Like the guy is he's a genius. He's written all these books that have he's made predictions that have come true about technology. And what he talks about, and maybe the big key to what his belief is that the rate of technology growth is what's called exponential. It is growing. If you had a graph and you showed the rate at which technology was growing, it doesn't gradually go up like this. It goes, it's exponentially growing. So if you think of things linearly and you think, I'm going to count to 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you get to 30 in 30 steps. That's how our minds work. It's like there's this progression that happens. But exponentially, what exponentially is if you double it every step that happens. So you start with 1, then 2, and then you double it, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. If you go 30 steps doing that, guess what you get at step 30?
I only know because I heard it last night.
A billion. You get to 1 billion exponentially. If you count exponentially 30 steps, you get to a billion. From 1 to a billion in 30 steps. And that's how technology is growing. And you think about it, in the last 40 years, we went from a computer that was $60 million, the size of a building, to today, where this computer that I have right here, that I shattered the screen, I don't know if you can see.
Whoops.
Oh yeah, by the way, check out my iPhone covers at rodeoarcade.com. What an opportunity to sell some merchandise. This computer is 1 million times smaller, it's 1 million times cheaper, and it's 1,000 times more powerful than the computers of 40 years ago. And that is exponential growth. So think in another 40 years what these computers can do. They're not only going to get more powerful, smaller, more cost effective, but they are going to be starting to receive AI, which is called artificial intelligence. Now, Ray Kurzweil believes that computers will eventually get so small and so powerful that they will be the size of a red blood cell, and that we will actually put these computers into our bodies. And that, for instance, these small computers will be able to download information real time to detect like diseases in your body. They'll be able to like find cancer and like cure it within you. Like you'll be able to like run at like an Olympic pace for like 15 minutes, basically creating immortality.
Do you believe that?
Kind of. I mean, I believe definitely that technology is growing exponentially. Like just look at the facts. Like, look how far it's come. Like, think about, 50 years ago, if I was to show just somebody 50 years ago, like, look, I can record this video, like, blah, blah, blah. Just the fact that we are live right now, and there's 550 people around the world, people, we've already asked, people from, anywhere in the States, across the seas, like thousands of miles away, and they are in this room with us right now. In Los Angeles, California. 550 people that can see us, they can hear us, and see everything that we're doing. If you were to show somebody that 50 years ago, it would blow their mind. Blow their mind that I could like take a picture, snap just a digital picture, and then send it to France like that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like magic. That'd be like black magic to those people 50
It's true.
years ago.
I can't say that I don't believe it, but you have to admit there's a sense of like, I think maybe fear of the unknown. Like what kind of, you know how like the internet is awesome and it is great for us today. Like we learned so much from the internet, but it's also brought a lot of bad things too.
Yeah, I mean,
like
there's
what,
good and bad. So here's the question. What would shock you if I was to say in 20 or 50 years from now, how old will you be? 80? Oh, you're so old. Gross. In 50 years from now, you'll be 80 years
He's
old.
still gonna make out with me when
Yes,
I'm
I
old.
will. If I told you that this computer could do blankety blank, what would just like shock you? Like, no way. They're going to be able to do that?
What you said, like putting inside your body and that it would cure you. Like, because you were telling me last night that these things that he's predicting would make you immortal.
Basically, like it would prolong life and that you might even could bring back people from the dead.
Like, I
Okay,
mean,
so
I see how that could happen with a computer, but how can you prevent your cells from aging? Like how
You will update your biology. Basically, like there's this fat inhibitor that because your body man, this is where like it gets into the science and it's hard because I only watched the movie last night and I'm not a very smart guy. But basically, our bodies were created to like hold on to food. So because they were, man, like your body is supposed to hold on to food because they think like the next time you go hunting, like what if you're not successful? Like our bodies aren't used to having constant food all the time. So when they're biogenetically engineered, it was like they hold on to fat. So what was the question?
How would that stop your cells from aging?
I don't know. It would.
The other interesting thing that think about it for a second. The other interesting thing that I was sort of just
I'm going to kick myself later on. I'm like, I knew the answer to that. But
I was eavesdropping, just kind of listening to what he was watching. And they were very much like man are becoming, like they're gods basically.
Right.
Like sort of taking the power out of God's hands and taking it into their own hands. So like that to me, I mean, it gets very spiritual. To me, I'm like, that's sort of blasphemous. Like I feel like that alone will cause failure in this process.
So that's where the problems come, where people that are religious and believe in God think, well, you can't do that. That's
like you
God's
shouldn't
power
try
to
to
do that.
be greater than God. I mean, you can align yourself with God, and if God wants to use that, like you said, like curing cancer and stuff like that, I mean, that would be amazing. But if you're trying to like override what God's trying to do, then it's going to blow up in your face.
So those are the worries, is that these computers will get so smart. Like there's a computer that can, like, nobody ever thought that a computer could beat a chess champion, for instance. Like these chess wizards, they're so smart and so advanced. When somebody saw there'll be a computer that can beat somebody at chess one day, there's like, that's ridiculous. That's happened. Jeopardy, there's this new computer called Watson who beat the two best Jeopardy players ever and beat these guys. These computers are actually learning like nuances of language. This computer Watson, he read all of Wikipedia and all these encyclopedias, and then he could answer questions on Jeopardy, because Jeopardy is all about language. It's about like nuances of language. Like I can say, the same word and it can mean 4 different things in our language. So computers are actually learning. Like Google, for instance, people say that they don't use Google because every time they use Google, it's teaching Google, how to basically raise. Kurzweil says that it'll give you information before you ask for it because it'll know what you want based on your previous, things that you've desired. So that's when it's like, oh, that's like Terminator, you know what I mean? Like when the computers become self-aware and they realize that they are their own entities, you know what I mean? And that's when like, well, why would they listen to us at that point? If they become their own thing, won't they like take over? And that's when people get scared. And like some of these people that talk about this think like that's like could be like the cause for the next world war. So there'll be a huge group of people that say, we need this technology, this is the future, we need to do this. And some people will say, no, this is like, we can't take that risk on these machines becoming smarter than we are. Computers already are smarter than we are in many ways, you know what I mean? But we control them. But if we give them that opportunity, like I believe that it could happen. Now, here's the other thing too. I don't necessarily think it's blasphemy because I believe that God wants us to excel. I believe that technology is God's technology.
That's what I'm saying. If you're using it for the good of
so
God.
Here's the thing, like Ray Kurzweil, his last line of this movie, if you go watch it, he says, "Do I believe God exists? Well, not yet." Meaning that because of this technology that we will eventually become immortal. So there's human knowledge. You can have all human knowledge. Another thing they said is like a teenager on the plains of Africa with a mobile device has more computing and technology information and communication ability than Ronald Reagan did, the president of the free world. You know what I mean?
Well, right.
These days, because all of human information is contained right here. You know, like anything you want to know, you can look up. So that's human knowledge. You know, that is assuming that all human knowledge is all knowledge out there, which I don't accept. I believe that God has knowledge that we have no idea of. You know what I mean? So I believe that this technology is his technology, and that, you know, who's to say that he's not on some big, you know, couch somewhere watching us thinking, to just wait. Just wait till you guys learn all that there is to be learned.
I don't know. I mean,
so
I agree with
that is a very, like, you know, like, that's a question, like, would you, because then some people say, like, in the Bible it says, like, there'll be like a sign of the beast, like a thing implanted in their forehead, you know what I mean? Like, when the day comes where it's like, okay, you can go get these little tiny computers injected into your blood and it'll make you live 100 years longer. Like, do you do that? Or is that like something that's like against your religion? You know what I mean? Like, and that's not something that's talked about in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? So like, what will we do then?
That's why we listen to the prophet.
So we believe in our church that we have a modern day prophet. We have a man who is the head of the church. We can pray and we can receive self-revelation, but we believe in a man that is God's mouthpiece on earth. And that when these new things come, it's like, well, what does God think about this? What does he want us to do? That the prophet therefore can guide us in those things. Interesting stuff though. And I think that it's
interesting.
I don't think that you should be so close-minded about it. I mean, like, it's scary because it's like stuff that's like, whoa, like, it's
well, if you
just stuff
just
you're
look
not
at the
used to.
past and how things have changed, like, I wouldn't have believed that you could touch a screen and make things happen from a touch screen.
Oh yeah,
like
just
I remember the
glass.
first time I had a touch screen or even saw a touch screen, I was just like, I was so I probably looked like the biggest idiot. Like, what?
You can like expand it. And
what? How does it know what you want it to do? And I don't know. It's crazy. It could happen, but there's a part of me that's like, it's a little scary. I think the fear of the unknown is what makes it scary, and to think that, like, I feel like that God's power, you know, if you're using that for good, but think of the people that would. I mean, think of the destruction and the what could happen.
So here's the thing then, is we believe in God's love and that he's omnibenevolent. You know, this new technology claims omniscience, or basically all knowledge, all knowing. But if you really are to be a God, what we believe is that you'll be omnibenevolent also, that you will use all that knowledge and power to serve other people, to lift other people, and to help other people that are in need. And that's the real question. And I think if you think about it, like, why would these machines that become self-aware want to destroy what created them, in a sense? You know, like, I mean, there are bad people, but that's on a whole nother level. You know, like, will a machine think, you know, like a Hitler? You know, would it get to that point? Right. You know, or will they be what we create them to be? You know what I mean? Will they just serve and protect and help? And in a sense, in essence, it's not like it's going to be the machines in us. Like, we will become the machines, is what, according to what Ray Kurzweil says, is that we will put these devices into our body, and we're already doing it. You guys seen the new Google glasses that are going to be out? Guaranteed in a year or 2 years from now.
And we put microchips in our pets.
There's microchips in our pets. But have you seen these Google glasses? Like, you put these things on your eyes. If you think about it, computers have gone from these giant room-filled devices, and they've gotten smaller and smaller and smaller and more powerful and closer to us and our faces, where now you go anywhere and this is what you see. People on their computers with this stuff right there in their face. The next step is to put it right here on your head with these Google glasses. Literally, I've been watching a bunch of videos with them, and the screen is right here, and it projects, and you could be walking around, you're like, what's the weather going to be today? You speak to the glasses, it projects the weather in this like image in front of your face. You like music on, you tell it what to do.
Well, I hope you're not
music turns
driving
on.
when you're doing that.
But it's like it's up in the corner, so you can still see everything. It's like Terminator. Like when he's walking around, like I can walk up to you and I haven't seen you in 10 years. There's a camera on the front of it. It'll look at you and all the information will come up. Last time you saw her, she had 2 kids. She was really hot. And it'll give you all this information, so you can walk up to somebody and it'll give you all this, instead of being like, how do I know you? Where do I know you from? It'll identify the person, give you all the stats and information about that person, because it'll probably be on the web anyways from your recent Facebook posts, your recent tweets, and the machine, the cloud, will know everything that you've done just when I walk up and look at you.
I'm overwhelmed.
That's happening. It's happening now. So think about it in 10 years from now. It's insane what's gonna go on.
I
had this conversation with my kids.
Find a cottage in the mountains and plant organic beets.
And I think it does. It scares some people because change is just scary. But
it's exhausting too. Like, I feel like I'm constantly already doing this all the time. Like, just get it out.
Just want to get rid of it.
Get rid of it for a minute.
Yeah,
know?
there is definitely wisdom and order in all things, and you have to like be careful with how much you let this invade your life and how much you let it get in the way of like real interaction. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we're going from these Google glasses, and next step, they're going to cut your head open, and it's going to go right in your brain.
Not to say it wouldn't be super awesome and helpful,
right. But like, think about this, like you're making dinner. It's like you pull up the recipe, like you're wearing these and it shows you the recipe. It shows you how to cut things up. You have both your hands. It shows you all the recipe. Next, you need this. It talks about mechanics. We'll be looking at a machine, like at an engine with these Google glasses on. It'll pop up a 3D image of the engine and say, unscrew this screw here, pull this out. You'll literally be able to, like, as you put your hand down, it'll like show you a 3D image of the engine to pull out, put this thing in. Like, it's amazing. I mean, the stuff that's coming.
Well, we're running out of time, but will that decrease, what's the word I'm looking for? Will that create unemployment because they don't need people anymore? They have computers to do everything.
Well, no, because I mean, half of the jobs that exist today didn't exist 15 years ago. Like the 350 employees at Maker Studios, those jobs did not exist 3 years ago. So technology brings new jobs. It's like, if you're not willing to change, there will be unemployment. If you're not willing to update your knowledge and to like be up with the times, then you will become obsolete. And like, that is scary, but you have to accept change. The only thing that is constant is change. If you don't accept that, you'll be behind. And you just have to accept it and say, you know, everything I learned is going to change. And you have to update, you have to upgrade your software. You know what I'm saying? You have to upgrade your software. But there will be new jobs. Jobs that don't even exist today will exist in 5-10 years from now.
True. Well, my mind's blown.
So that's the apocalypse for you guys. We're all going to have a giant world war over the debate if we should put machines in our heads or not.
You know,
it's interesting though. Let's have a follow-up. I'm going to do some more because I'm like so into this right now. I've been watching every Ray Kurzweil. I'm going to go, that's what we're doing after the podcast. We're going to go buy his new book. How to Make a Mind is his new book. I'm going to do a bunch of research. Leave your questions. Leave like what you've heard, some, things, all comments below. I'm going to read them and we're going to do a follow-up to this podcast because to me, this is not only the future and it's really happening. Like you don't hear about this stuff every day, but if you look into it, like,
because it sounds crazy.
But you can look at the past. Like, you can look at factual things that have happened that are leading us to this point.
But it's the minds of crazy men that bring us iPhones.
The truth. Yeah. I mean, Steve Jobs was a visionary. Think about all the ideas that he had. And now we look at him as like, almost like a prophet. Like some people look at Steve Jobs like, he, like everything almost like he was like greater than human, you know what I mean? But these are all human ideas.
Maybe he had the first microchip and we don't even know.
And we believe in inspiration. We do. We believe that God can give us knowledge of things that we didn't maybe even know that, can teach us. So I don't think that there's a separation between science and technology and God. I think God's power is science and technology. I think that's what he uses to create the world, to, give us inspiration to speak to our minds. That's another thing I talked about with Suntard yesterday, that in the future, we'll be able to just like send each other thoughts. Think about, we're not that far away. I sit here and you don't see what I'm typing, and I type you a message. I think that sweater makes your butt look really good, blah, blah, whatever.
Sweater? It's not even on my
It's
butt.
a long sweater. That's why. It doesn't cover your butt. That's why it makes your butt look good. So whatever, like I send this, I type this little message, I hit a button, it shoots to her, whether she's right next to me or in Brazil. And that message, that thought, without even talking to her, looking at her, communicates to her. That's what an email is. We're sending thoughts back and forth. If we have those in our minds, like we're going to be able to just like understand each other's thoughts. I don't feel like that's that far off. And that's how we believe, even in the scriptures, how you receive revelation from God, is that it is just brought to your mind. That knowledge and information is brought to your mind. Like, I don't think you need to separate the two. I think that you should be accepting of both. And I do believe in God. I do believe in Heavenly Father, and that we are here, and that He's got the nicest iPad of them all. And you guys just wait.
It's true. I feel like I believe in God, and I believe in science, and I believe in technology. It's like you can mash it all together.
Absolutely. I definitely don't think there's, you know, because people who are scientists, a lot of times they don't believe in God. But I think it's, I don't know, we'll all figure it out one day.
Yeah,
right?
someday.
Unless we're all immortal because we have these machines in our bodies that keep
that's
us
the
alive.
other question. Even if you were immortal because you had machines to keep you alive, you still wouldn't know what
God
happens
exists.
after you die.
So here's
because
my
you
final
never
thing.
Die.
That's what I was about to say. Here's my final thing. Ray Kurzweil says that death will be an elective thing, that you will choose whether you want to die or not. And I feel like, in my personal feeling, I feel like I will choose death because I want to know. You know, and if God doesn't exist and there's not an afterlife, well, then I made a big risk, and now I'm just worm dirt. You know, I'm just worm food, and everybody will be living in their happy lives as robots
with their computer chips.
But I want to know, like, I think, and Ray Kurzweil, if you read the subtext of these conversations, he's terrified of death. His dad died, and he is really broken up about his dad dying, and he wants to try to bring his dad back to life. And that's what motivates him and drives him to do this. He doesn't say that, but you can just tell in the interviews. At the very first of the movie, he talks about him imagining death and how he's in all these empty rooms and that there's nobody there and that it's just like sad and dark, and he doesn't like thinking about it. So then he starts to think about how he'll never die. But I think there will be a day that'll come
on this earth
in
forever.
50 years from now where it's like, you can use these devices to make you live, I don't know forever, but you can prolong, people live 200, 300 years. And I think it'll come where it's like, I don't want to put those in my body, and I want to see what's going to happen once mortality passes, and I want to really see if God is there or not. And I think that'll be a choice that we'll have to make.
Crazy.
Tune in next time when the kids go to sleep, right here in Los Angeles, California.
Is your mind blown yet?
Get off your iPhone. Go look at the sun. Go spend some time with your family and friends. Look at them. Let's spend some FaceTime right now, babe. FaceTime. This is real FaceTime.
It's great FaceTime.
I love lamp.